طيب بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Any questions before we proceed? Any questions before we proceed? طيب. So what we have done day before yesterday is we started looking at probabilities, and we defined discrete probability. And after doing some examples, the idea was we need to determine what is the cardinality of the sample space, what is the cardinality of the event, and then just take the cardinality of the event divided by the cardinality of the sample space. Now, it turns out that determining the cardinality of the event, sometimes the event, and sometimes the sample space requires what we have learned in chapter 6. Okay? So these two chapters are very pretty much related. So inshallah, what we will do today is we will basically continue with some examples. Okay? So let's take this example. What is the probability that the numbers 11, 4, 17, 39, and 23 are drawn in that order from a bin containing 50 balls labeled with the numbers 1, 2 through 50. Now, we are going to draw the balls in two different ways. In the first way, what we will do is we will draw the ball, we get the number, put the number in the ball, and remove the ball. We will not return it back to the bin. Okay? So this is the first one. The ball selected is not returned to the bin before the next ball is selected. The second approach is that we are going to pick a ball, look what the number is, and then we will return it back to the bin. Okay? And then we will return it back to the bin. Now, these two things have specific names, especially if you do simulations. They have special names. Maybe I should have put them inside the slides, but since it was not done, let's do it now. So basically, if the ball selected is not returned to the bin after we choose it, we call this sampling. This is called sampling without replacement. And if we do return the ball into the bin before we pick our next ball, then we call it sampling with replacement. Okay? طيب. Yalla, let's start. What is the size of my sample space? What is the cardinality of my sample space in this case? Yes. What is the size of the sample space? Yes.
50 then 49.
عيد مرة ثانية.
50 and then becomes 49.
مش counts, multiplied by, صح?
Yes.
So basically, it is P55, صح? Why? Why? Because they are in order, صح? Because they are in order. If they were not in order, then we will use combinations, right? We will use combinations. So since this is in order, then it has to be P55, which is, by the way, what? Well, this is 50 multiplied by 49, 48, 47, 46. خمسة هدول. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. Okay? So that's the size of my sample space. Right. What about the event? What is the size of the event? 1, صح? 1. There is one way to choose 11, and then second way, one way to choose 4, one way to choose 17, 39, 33. It is 1. So, therefore, what is the probability of E? 1 over P55. Okay? Right. What about the second one? Now, in the second case, what is going to change? The size or the cardinality of the event or the cardinality of the sample space? The sample space, the cardinality of the event is going to stay the same, صح? So, what will be the cardinality of the sample space in this case if I return the ball back to the bin?
50 to the power 5.
50 to the power 5, right? So 50 to the power 5. And since the event still has size 1, probability of E in this case is going to be equal to 1 divided by 50 to the power 5. 1 divided by 50. Okay? Any question? Very good. Right. So let's continue. This seems to be a new topic, but if you look closely, we have seen it before. Probability of combinations of events. Now the theorem here says, let E be an event in a sample space S. The probability of the event E complement, which is the complementary event of E, is given by 1 minus probability of E. Now, why do we care about the complement, and what is this going to help us? Well, as we have seen before in chapter 6, sometimes it might be much easier to get the probability of the complement of the event that I'm trying to find. And what will be a better example than this example? A sequence of 10 bits is randomly generated. The question says, what is the probability that at least one of these bits is 0? Now, the event E is what? Who's going to tell me what is event E in this case? No, I need more details.
0 and 9 minus 1, 0.
So basically, it's at least one of these bits is 0. This includes those that have 1 0, 2 zeros, 3 zeros, 4 zeros until 10 zeros. Until 10 zeros. Right. What is the complement of this event? All ones. Does anybody know what is the size?
Yes.
What is the size of the event where all of them are ones? 1. ما في غير واحد. خلاص, we are done. Okay. So let's write that down. So basically we have let E be the event where 10 bits of 1 are generated. Then what we want is probability of what? If E is the event that 10 bits of 1s are generated, we want E complement. صح? We want to find the probability of E complement. طيب. So what did we say? We said that the size of E is 1. What is the size of the sample space? 2 to the power 10, صح? 2 to the power 10. Therefore, probability of E complement, which is what I want, is equal to what? Is equal to 1 minus probability of E, which is 1 minus, now probability of E is 1 divided by 2 to the power 10. That's it. So it is much easier to find the probability of having at least 1 0 by finding the complement of this event, the probability of having all ones, right? The probability of having all ones. Okay? Any questions? Yes.
The complement would be 10 over 2 to the power 10.
Say that again.
The complement will be 10 to over 2 to the power 10. Because
كيف 10؟ إذا بتاخذ 2 to the power 10 عامل مشترك بتكون 2 to the power 10 minus 1 over 2 to the power 10 صح؟
That's the probability of the example.
Here
لا الإجابة العادية.
هذه طيب
ما
مالها؟
تكمل. هذا الناس كم يكون؟
لا لو بنجاوب عليها بدون ما نطرح من واحد.
I don't know but well I did it. It is 2 to the 10. 2 to the 10 minus 1 over 2 to the 10. Huh? But I don't care. I mean, in the exam, if nothing is said regarding getting the final answer and doing all the computations, just leave it like this.
يعني دكتور
نعم.
هذا الجواب النهائي ولا هذا الجواب حق كونت؟
هذا الجواب النهائي. هذا احنا ايش قلنا؟ ايش الاي؟ 10 bits of 1 are generated. Is this what we are looking for? We are looking for the complement. Okay? Right. Okay. Again, another example of something that we have seen in chapter 6. Let E1 and E2 be events in the sample space S, then probability of E1 union E2 is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2 minus probability of E1 intersection E2. Have we seen this before?
Yes.
In fact, this exact example has been seen in the homework. صح?
Yes.
But in the homework, I did not ask for the probability. I just asked for, count how many do we have from this or how many do we have from that. Here, the only small twist is after you do that counting, kind of, find the probability, or just use the formula. Okay? So, what is the probability that a positive integer selected at random from the set of positive integers not exceeding 100 is divisible by either 2 or 5? So, in this case, what is the size of my sample space? 100, صح? From 1 to 100. Not exceeding 100 means it includes 100, صح? From 1 to 100 we have 100 numbers. طيب. So let E1 be the number of positive integers not exceeding 100 that are divisible by ليش هيك صار كتير let me try to make it shorter. Not exceeding 100 that are divisible by ايش؟ that are divisible by 2. Okay? That are divisible by 2. Will E2 the number of positive integers not exceeding 100 that are divisible by ايش؟ that are divisible by 5. طيب ايش ال E1 intersection E2؟ the number of positive integers not exceeding 100 that are divisible by 10. What do we want to find? To find probability of E1 union E2 صح؟ اللي هي divisible by 2 or 5. Divisible by 2 or 5. So let's apply the theorem. Probability of E1 union E2 is equal to probability of E1 plus probability of E2 minus probability of E1 intersection E2 صح؟ طيب let's write them here. What is the size of E1? اللي هي ايش؟ floor 100 divided by 2 chapter 2 ها؟ خليني اسمع من واحد يقول لي الاكزام is not comprehensive. chapter 2 ف اوكي طيب which is what this is 50 صح طيب what's the size of E2 100 divided by 5 this is 20 the last thing E1 intersection E2 the floor of 100 divided by 10 which is 10 100 divided by 10 which is 10 so this is equal to what يلا يا شباب what is probability of E1 50 over 100 plus 20 over 100 minus 10 over 100 okay which is equal to 60 over which is equal to 60 over 1 right. So let's do the activity. Let's do the activity. I'll give you 6 minutes. We will answer the first 2 questions and then the last one, every group on its own. Huh? I'll give you 7 minutes, huh? Well, 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Why 6 minutes?
لا بس انا بفهم يعني شلون بتجيب هي الاحتماليه ان الايفن كم ايفن بيطلع لنا كم احتماليه ما 12 تقسيم 12 تقسيم 2 ايفن يطلع لنا والعادي لا لا بعدين خلاص القواعد هذه 16 من عندنا في السوق 16 ولا خليك تكتبها هنا و event 1 equal 15 What is the So عندنا كنا What is the root that I contains 2 bits? Okay, عندنا 5 that is 2 of 3 of يعني هذه ايه هذه بتكون غير هذول الاثنين عندنا النص كامله
Okay يا شباب, time is over.
2 out of 13 يصير عندنا
Yalla, the first question. What's the probability that a card selected at random from a standard deck of 52 cards is an ace or a heart? Who's going to solve this for us? Go ahead.
The probability of drawing an ace is 4 over 52.
4 over 52.
The probability of getting a heart is 13 over 52.
The probability of getting a heart is 13 over 52.
And the probability of the intersection of them is 1.
Is 1. Because there is one of the aces is actually a heart. So, so basically it is 4 over 52 plus 13 over 52 minus 1 over 52. Right. Second question. What is the probability that a 5-card poker hand contains 2 pairs? That is 2 of each of 2 different kinds and a 5th card of a 3rd kind. مين يجاوب لنا هذا السؤال؟ يلا يا شباب بدنا ناخذ الكويز. Go ahead.
The space is 52 choose 5.
The size of the sample space is 52 choose 5. طيب.
The counts 13 choose 2.
13 choose 2.
2 kinds of 13 kinds.
So he's choosing 2 kinds of 13 kinds. He's using 13 choose 2. Why didn't you use P13 2?
Because it doesn't matter.
Because it doesn't matter. The order does not matter. Because this is 2, this is 2. Not like day before yesterday we had 3 and 2. Day before yesterday we had 3 and 2. But today it is 2 and 2. Order does not matter. It is 13. 13 choose 2. طيب. After 13 choose 2.
You take the last card. It's 48 choose 1.
48
48 choose 1.
choose 1. لا خطصت. احنا هلا اول شيء اخترنا الكاين 32 choose 2 صح؟ طيب بعدين
4 choose
we need to choose 2 cards from each of these kinds صح؟ ف4 multiplied by 4 choose 2 and then multiplied by 4 choose 2. طيب. Now how many cards are left to choose from?
44
ها؟
44
44.
because 52
مش احنا اخترنا 2 kinds كم kind ضل؟
4
11 صح؟ 11 times 4 is 44. And we cannot choose one from these 2 kinds, otherwise it will not become 2 and 2, it will be 3 and 2 صح؟
yes
شيء اسمها straight flush. I don't know.
اللهم صل
اللهم انا صايمين كلنا. Yes.
ضعت شوي بين الحكي ما عرفت ممكن بس ترسمه بسرعة عشان أعرف لأنه ما فهمت. أول حاجة أخذت 13 choose 2.
أول شيء 13 choose 2 اللي هي choosing the kinds. We have 13 kinds, we need to choose 2 of them. And then after we chose the kinds, because ordering is not important in choosing the kinds, now from the first kind, we need to choose 2 cards from 4. And then from the second kind, we need to choose 2 cards from 4. And then finally, we are left with 44 cards to choose from 1 card. Okay? ماشي يا شباب؟ خلص والسؤال الثالث بتحلوه مع بعض. Make sure you upload the grade scope. You have until midnight. The deadline is midnight, but of course you have until 6 a.m. After that, don't send me email, don't do anything. Huh?